Welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making for you today and showing you how to make is my husband's famous pizza sandwiches. So let's get started. My husband has been making these pizza sandwiches for over 40 years, and this is a quick and easy snack that you could make any time of the day. And if you want to make it at night time while you're watching a movie, instead of breaking the bank by buying a pizza, this is the way to go. So I'm going to tell you now what the ingredients is and show you how to make them. So these toppings I'm going to show you now is what my husband would use, but you can substitute it if it's something there you don't like. We're using tomato, fresh tomato, green pepper, onions. We're using a mixture of mozzarella cheese, parmesan. You can use whichever you like. We got the trio, pepperoni and salami. We also got bacon bits that's ready to go, ground beef already cooked, some Italian seasoning, butter of course for the bread, and what makes it over the top is my famous homemade bread, which you can find on Bonita's Kitchen or in my cookbook. But you could use whatever bread you got on hand if you don't have this. So let's get started making these pizza sandwiches. Okay, so I'm all washed up and ready to go. What I'm going to start with first is cutting a small amount of the tomato. We don't need a full tomato, but it all depends on how many sandwiches you're going to make. I'm going to make 4. I'll give you the ingredients for 4, but this is the type of snack or meal that you could make and put as much as you want on it or as less, whichever way you like it. So let's get cutting up the tomato, the green pepper, and our onion. Okay, so I'm almost done cutting up. I got about half of a tomato here for 4 sandwiches. My husband is telling me that's quite enough. Also, I forgot to mention that you would need pizza sauce as well for this. If you can't get access to already pizza sauce, you can use a pasta sauce. And that's quite okay. I think it'll allow me to make substitutes here. And now we're going to be cutting up a little bit of green pepper. Okay, so you don't need very much green pepper. In fact, my husband only uses a small amount of green pepper, but because I'm making them here today, I'm kind of going overboard with the amount of ingredients that I would use. But this is usually his sandwich he's making. We're going to take a little bit of onion. Now, if you don't like onion in your anything that you're making, you could substitute it with onion powder or just leave it out altogether. I'm just going to use a small amount for that. Okay. And again, this is way too much onion as well, but it's kind of difficult to cut up any less. You can always use it for something else, maybe if you're frying up an omelette or something for your breakfast. This is perfect. You already got it cut up. Just put it all into a container. You're good to go.
Or just make an extra sandwich.
Or just make extra sandwiches. Yeah, that's what my husband was saying, because we used to make these years ago, or in fact I would say my husband would, and our 2 boys would love them. 4 sandwiches wasn't enough. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side, bring my bread over, and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, now I'm all washed up. So, like I was saying at the beginning, I'm using homemade bread that I freshly made yesterday. You could use whatever type of bread you got on hand. Let it be the thin slices or the Texas slices, like big or small, doesn't matter. And as many as you want. So, what my husband tells me is I need to butter one side of the bread, like this. So you just put a nice even amount of butter, and if you don't want to use butter and you wanted to use olive oil, just sprinkle the olive oil over. This is mainly, and I will tell you what Raymond likes to do this for. I'm going to reach for my cookie sheet, put it down, and then he takes the bread and flips it over the butter side down like this, and that way.
Then you get a nice golden brown on the bottom of the sandwich.
There you go. So now that's what that's for. So that's all you need to do there. Okay, I'm just going to move this bread here for just a second because I wanted to cut up the salami, pepperoni and the ham before I show you what's next for the bread. This is very small slices. You can get as big as you want, but you want to cut it in little pieces first because we're not making a pizza, we're making pizza sandwiches. So let's just do this now and I'll show you what's next. When I say pizza trio, this is pretty much what it is. Pepperoni and salami. So now what I'm going to do is move that to the side again, bring in my bread, and we will start topping those delicious homemade bread with some pizza sauce. So you just put a nice equal amount. How much do you usually put on, Raymond?
I love pizza sauce, so I don't know, it looks pretty good.
Alright, so you could put as much as or as less as you want to do, but a nice helping of pizza sauce like this, equally covering the bread so that it all got a delicious amount. Like that. So I hope you're following along nicely with this. Like I said, there's no real amount of order, but you know, I don't usually make these sandwiches, so I'm going to give you Raymond's way of making it. So this is the cooked ground beef I got here. If you don't like ground beef and you like ground chicken or ground turkey, I'm going to say you can substitute that if you like. So just put equal amounts on your bread like this. So now we're going to put equal amount of pepperoni, salami and the ham on each one. I don't need to overcrowd it. My husband or Raymond just told me that I don't need to put too much on each one because when you get it all on there, you don't want for your sandwich to start, you know, falling apart or anything. So just have a nice amount that you can see fully loaded, more or less, and put equal amount of each one on there. So I hope you're following along here and it looks interesting and you are about to make these delicious pizza sandwiches with me. Now what we're going to do is take our chopped onions and just put a small amount. You don't want too much on there unless you like a lot of onions, and the smaller you cut them the better. So I got mine cut just small there, so just pop that on there. And again, if you don't like onion, you could leave it off. It doesn't matter. Okay, so what we're going to do next is top these delicious pizza sandwiches with an equal amount of cheese. This is a delicious idea for evening snack if you're planning on watching a movie and you don't want to order in a pizza because that costs us money. And this here, everybody usually got cheese and peppers and you name it in your home, and if you don't have one or the other, you can substitute. And of course bacon. Who don't have bacon? So now we're going to put an equal amount of bacon after you put your cheese on top of the cheese. Like this. And try to have a little bit left for yourself because I'm sure if you're like me, you'll want a few tastes of that bacon. Now comes my next favorite, is the few green peppers and a couple of the tomato on there, and put equal amount on each one. Now sometimes Raymond likes to leave the tomato off and put it on when it comes out of the oven, and he'll just put it a little bit on each one just to have that freshness and the tomato is not cooked down onto it. But I'm just going to show you, you can do either way. this way or after it's out of the oven, whichever works for you. So you just put just a few, not many, because as you can see you don't want it falling over, but it'll blend together nice. There you go. So here comes the seasoning. It's just a little sprinkle of the Italian spice. Well, it's the seasoning, it's probably got 2 or 3 different types in there, and just sprinkle it on over the top of your sandwich. And the remainder of your vegetables, of course, nothing gets tossed. You just put it right into a container and keep it for later. Okay, so you just toss it on into a nice container or a baggie, whichever you want to put it into, and keep it for more sandwiches, or if you want to make yourself a nice omelette.
Or a rainy day.
Or whichever, it doesn't matter, or into a salad. Cover it and keep it in your fridge. You can keep it like that for a week. If you want more seasonings over the top of your sandwich, you can do that. And now what I'm going to do is tell you how long you need to keep it in the oven and the amount of heat. So what you need to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And then put these sandwiches in on a timer for 15 to 20 minutes. Peeking in, if it looks like it's starting to melt nice, get nice golden brown, what my husband usually does is lift the sandwich like this, looking under it to see if it's starting to get a nice golden brown. If that happens before your timer's up and you're satisfied with what they look like, then you take them out. But what I'll do is show you what mine looks like when mine comes out. So meet me back here in a few. Welcome back to Bonita's Kitchen, and our famous Raymond's pizza sandwiches are made and done, and they look absolutely amazing. Smells delicious in here. You can see it under. I don't want to tip it over to waste my toppings. I'm going to cut them now in half. I'll show you what they look like. Oh my goodie, they look amazing. Just look at how delicious that looks. Now, this is what you would call an affordable pizza sandwich, because everything you got in your fridge you can put on this sandwich. I'm going to line my tray here, then I'm going to have a nice little taste. Now that's my last sandwich. So as you can see, quick and easy, affordable sandwich, and everyone in your home would love it, including your kids, because what kid that don't like a piece of pizza? And if you don't want all of this on the pizza with the pizza sandwich, you could make it whatever way your kids like it. So what I'm going to do here now, I'm just going to move this over here to the side, and I'm going to bring this closer and top it with some more Parmesan, and I'll show you what's next. Okay, so what I'm doing here now is just topping it with a little tiny bit of Parmesan. If you're going to be serving this to people, you want it decked up as possible, or if you're having it for yourself, just take it out and serve it. I'm just putting a little bit of green onion over the top. That's just my way of garnishing it. My husband probably wouldn't do that, but because I'm making it here now, I want to show you my little twist, and then I'm going to have a little taste. Okay, so I'm going to have a little taste there now. Crunchy, all of the flavors like you would if you're eating into a pizza that you bought or made. Delicious. 2 thumbs up by Bonita's Kitchen. I just want to have a little taste of water to wash that down. Absolutely delicious. Crunchy on the bottom, just the way you want it, and that's why the butter is there. Or if you don't like butter, you can just put a sprinkle of olive oil. And then the top part is nice and flavorful, and you can taste every layer that you put in there. So if you like this, quick and easy pizza sandwiches made by me, recipe by my husband Raymond, just look us up on Bonita's Kitchen and you'll make them. And if you wanted to make yours with homemade bread, like I was saying at the beginning, I do have this recipe on Bonita's Kitchen, www.bonitaskitchen.com, and I got it in my cookbook, and you can access that through that site by saying /cookbook on the www. But this is how it's made, and it's so delicious. And you can also send me a message on my Facebook page or subscribe to our channel. It's free on YouTube. Just hit the top link on the right hand corner. It'll prompt you to what you need to do. We post a new video every week on Sunday, usually around 1 o'clock local time. That's Newfoundland time. So if you want to get a notification even for that, if you would join my email list on my Facebook page, and that's at Bonita's Kitchen, and you would get notifications each time we post it there as well. So this is as good as it gets, pizza sandwiches. So thank you for joining us once again for Bonita's Kitchen, from my kitchen to yours. Thank you for joining us, and you have a wonderful day.